Warning, this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm drawing with my throat.
Oh my God. I need to start remembering all these like one-liners because I seriously want to make a merch store and like have t-shirts. My first one's going to be Paranormal Sweetheart, right? That's my first one.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have The Land is Old.
The land is old.
And then on the back, All Land's Old. And then now, what was that one? I'm drawing with my throat.
I'm drawing with my throat. What was that one a long time ago that was so good?
I don't know. I think Jessica sent me the text and she's like, you need a t-shirt. You've got to make that a t-shirt.
Oh, are you coming? Not yet.
No, we are not making a t-shirt that says, are you coming? Not yet. No, that's inappropriate.
Oh my goodness.
It is inappropriate.
People like inappropriate shirts.
No, I don't. I mean, I do. I have several shirts that say, go have the day you deserve.
Yeah.
But that's not really inappropriate.
It's completely inappropriate.
And it's like got a skeleton reading a book, looking over its glasses. Have the day you deserve.
Some days I wish that were true. Other days, no.
What?
The day you deserve. A lot of days I don't want that day.
Are you saying you're not a good person?
I'm saying
you don't have good intentions.
I'm saying some days I don't deserve a good day because
You're a butthole.
I was going to say ass.
You called me a hussy last episode.
Yeah, don't be.
No, you didn't say don't be a hussy. You were like, come on, hussy.
Yeah, don't be a trifling hussy.
Trifling?
Yeah.
Now I'm trifling?
Yeah.
Daniel. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. I am your host, Ashley, and today we have our lovable, laughable co-host, Daniel.
Hey, you didn't even let me say my name.
No, because I
Say my name.
When no one is around you.
Say my name.
I wanted to get the lovable, laughable in before you could. Because that was your open last week. Is your lovable, laughable co-host Daniel?
Yeah, I should have come up with a new intro this morning.
You should have, but I didn't like you. That's on me. I didn't give you the opportunity, but I thought lovable, laughable was so funny.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, and it's true.
Daniel's back again. Speaking of back,
Baby got back.
No.
Oh,
Backstreet's back.
Oh,
all right. I'm going to the Backstreet Boys concert. 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks?
I have no idea. I think so.
3.
3, yeah.
Like maybe not 3 weeks, not 2 weeks.
Date's hard.
Well, leaving the 10th. So I'm probably going to have a down week, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I do have some amazing episodes coming up though, and they don't include Daniel. Sorry.
That's nice.
No, this one's good. Our last one did really well.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening, and thanks Ben for sharing, and thanks Anthony for sharing, and anybody else that pushed that out. Thank you so much. It did really well. And Ben even mentioned when I come back, because I was like, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Recording an episode.
Yeah, we're definitely going back as soon as I run out of whiskey.
I'm glad bourbon. That's your priority. Here I am working.
Yeah.
But he's like,
so we had an episode baby.
An episode baby?
Yeah, they just pushed it out.
Yeah. Anyway, he mentioned next time I'm there recording an episode in the Barrel House where the boys where B Block, A Block are, and doing an episode in there and seeing if we can, I think he has had an episode in there before, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. So I don't know how that works. I'll have to get with him. But Ben's a great guy, guys. So he's...
Need some of that sauce, Ben.
Well, order it, Daniel.
Okay, Ashley. Don't be trifling.
Stop calling me trifling.
Well,
we have been at each other's necks this week. I'm about to hit him with my coffee cup.
You need to straighten up.
I'm as straight as an arrow. But anyway, my podcast studio, before we get into today's episode.
Yeah, let's give an update on that.
Oh my gosh, we have sheetrock. And Tim, who is the sheetrock guy, who's amazing, and his guys are amazing.
Yep.
The guys came in. Okay, funny story real quick.
Yeah, you gotta go back. First, can I tell the story of me actually getting the sheetrock?
Oh my God. So if you don't know this, if this is your first episode ever with me, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. We decided to enclose an attic space for my podcast studio because I am currently in the office underneath the children's bedrooms and I hear everything. I hear the dogs. I hear the air conditioner. I hear everything. And so Daniel and I have been doing it ourselves. Mainly Daniel. I've been just cheerleading. Hey, yay, yay. Been going with him to Lowe's and stuff and to get stuff. I did the initial taking down all the shelves. He did the afterwards, the tear out of everything. And then he did the insulation. And he first did all the ripping of the boards and rewiring stuff.
Yeah, framing, the electrical.
And he started this, it wasn't hot.
March? Was it March?
Yes. So it wasn't like scolding yet. And by the time he was ready for insulation, we're in like May.
Yeah.
And he was like melting. So he's been amazing. He's been working his tail off. And so, yes. So we got to the point where he put all the cotton candy insulation up and it looked like the middle of intestines. Jessica said it looked like the inside of a lady part.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then one of my TikTok people said that it looked like ectoplasma from Ghostbusters.
Yes, that's true.
So now we're at sheetrock. So Daniel, take it away.
We got to the point of needing sheetrock. So I've got a 5x8 trailer.
And I've hung sheetrock before, so I was like, let's do it. We can do it ourselves.
I've helped hang sheetrock. Okay.
Yeah.
And I told you from the get-go, the biggest thing I was worried about was the taping and mudding because it's an art form.
It isn't. Y'all who do that's amazing. And I was like, okay, I'll pay somebody to do that part of it, but we can hang it. We got this. Let's do it.
So I go buy 15 sheets of 5/8 inch sheetrock. Okay. And it comes double kind of taped together, right?
Yes. If you don't know, it's 2 sheets taped together.
I take my 5x8 trailer to Home Depot actually I got it from Lowe's because it was cheaper at Lowe's.
It was significantly cheaper at Lowe's.
Yeah. So there was a guy in Lowe's that was kind enough to help me load it onto the cart, check out. I push it out to the trailer. And when I tell y'all I was tired after unloading those 15 sheets, I was tired.
They're about 100 pounds.
They're 80 to 100 pounds.
For 2 of them.
Yeah. I get home and I'm like, hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
You gonna help me unload this sheetrock and put it in the garage?
No, you said let's take it upstairs.
Oh, that's right. I did.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go from trailer to upstairs immediately.
He did not tell me that these were 2 at a time. Or how heavy they were.
So she comes out there pretty much reluctantly, y'all. I slide the first one we start and she's like, oh my God. We're not taking these upstairs.
There's no way. They are so heavy. I was struggling.
So I'm like, okay, let's just put them in the garage.
What did I tell you when we moved? I hurt my back moving into that haunted house. And I told him, I think I growled, maybe my head spun. I don't know. But I was like, I will never put myself in a position to hurt myself to help you move. I had no clue how heavy these things were. It was like lifting a teenager up, dead weight.
Yeah, and it's...
Or like maybe a 12-year-old or 11-year-old. Just 100. It was so heavy.
And they're 4x8 sheets, so they're
huge.
It's awkward to begin with.
Yes, and he's like, let's go.
I'm pumped. I'm like, I'm doing the thing.
He's getting mad. He's frustrated with me because I'm like...
I wasn't mad or frustrated.
You get frustrated anytime we do something like that.
No, I was not frustrated.
I have a feeling you do.
No, I was not. I was not frustrated at all, actually. We finally end up getting them all unloaded, and you, my dear, were white.
Oh, I was mad at you by that point.
Yes, you were mad.
Because he did not untape them and split them up for us to carry off the trailer. He made...
Do you remember the last sheet?
I have blocked it out.
The last sheet was just a single.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh.
But I was thinking, this is what we could have been moving this whole time?
Yeah,
you couldn't have just cut them so we could have carried them?
It would have been more trips.
I don't care. God almighty.
So... She's getting mad all over again.
I'm getting so mad. I was so mad at him. I was mad at him when he made me move and didn't take anybody's help. And here I am, injured back, having to move stuff upstairs.
I think this part of the story has gone on long enough.
Yes, it needs to be done.
So we got the sheetrock.
So mad.
So we got the sheetrock in the garage, and it was 3 weeks later. Finally got a weekend. We're like, okay, let's
hang this.
Let's hang this sheetrock. So I measure, and I only had to cut I think maybe
details.
10 inches off of one. So it's still a pretty big sheet. That's
sheet of sheetrock.
So we get it upstairs, and it's on an angled wall, y'all.
Yes. My podcast room is like a triangle.
We need to start there. And she's like, how am I going to hold this up?
Yeah, he's like, just hold it up. It's on an angle. It is on an angle. And he's like, just hold it up. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm like, I can't hold this up. Why can't you just hold it up? I'm like, I had to lay on my back and use my feet. Like I am laid.
Like a squat machine, like a leg press.
Yes, like on a leg press, squat pressing this piece of sheetrock to hold it up on this weird angle for you while you screw it in. And I'm like, you know what? I have some money from when I sold the haunted house. I'm going to pay somebody to do this. Don't even worry about it.
I'm like, I think that's best.
Because if we did it, we'd still be doing it. We might be murdering each other.
Yeah, we would. That would have definitely been at least a couple of fights.
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, we work well together, but if there's any kind of like, if he starts cussing and screaming, then I'm going to start cussing and screaming.
And guys,
I don't have many men listeners, so you're kind of on your own.
So I'm just gonna put this out. I'm just gonna put this out there. When I get to doing something,
he starts cussing.
It's not. I'm not cussing at you. I'm not cussing because I'm having to do it. I'm cussing because there's been some kind of challenge or obstacle, and I'm talking to the inanimate objects to get them to. But
the only object in that room that has feelings is me. And and anytime you do something this is a marriage podcast now. Anytime you do something for me and you start cussing, it's like, he doesn't want to be doing this.
No, that's not true.
But this is how I feel.
But that's not true. I'm telling you. So just know, baby. Just know.
Well, anyway, thank you for telling me that, even though it doesn't change the way I feel when you're cussing. I'm like, I just don't even like ask anyway.
That's part of it.
Could it not be? Could it just not be part of it? Anyway. Found a sheetrock guy, came. My sister and her husband had just had sheetrock done in their house. So he came over. His guys threw it up within a few hours.
Done in like 2 hours?
Not even. I went to the orthodontist with Daisy and came home and it was done. They were gone. And I was like, holy crap.
I told you, I was like, that would have been at least 3 weekends.
Yes, if not longer. And so I came back and it was done. Tim showed up. He mudded it and sanded it. So he'll be back Monday to finish it out. Tony, who's my painter, who's been my painter for 3 years now, he came. I'm going to tell this, guys, I'm so sorry. I hope you're enjoying this long open. I'm going to Vegas in, like I said, in 3 weeks or so. And I was trying on my outfit and Tony showed up and I was in a bodysuit, a fringed white leather, not leather, like a thick hide type. Sparkly skirt with my cowboy boots that are knee high.
Are they white? They're white.
They're white.
Yeah.
Everything was white. And I had lost my package. Another package got delivered to another house. So I thought maybe it was a neighbor. So I sent one of the kids to get the door to see if it was the person with the package. And they said, Mom, it's Tony. And I went, I forgot Tony was coming today. And I go downstairs and I would normally let the kids answer the door for Tony, but we have a dog that doesn't like Tony and tries to eat Tony.
Yes.
And I was worried that they would let the dogs out because they always let the dog out the front door if they open it.
Who?
Yes, exactly. They do.
Yes.
And so I have to come down in my tank top bodysuit, fringe sparkly skirt, and knee-high white cowgirl boots.
He was ready
to open the door for Tony. And I went, hi. I said, can you meet me at the garage? And he's like, uh-huh.
And Tony's such a soft-spoken person.
Nice.
Like, he's so nice.
He's so nice. And so Daisy was in my kitty cat robe. It's just a fluffy robe with kitty cat ears on the hood. I'm like, give me my robe, give me my robe, give me it. She's like, no. I'm like, give me my robe, Daisy. I need my robe. I have a man going in my garage. I have to put something over this outfit. That's my Backstreet Boy concert outfit.
I don't think the kitty cat robe and the white knee-high cowboy boots was a good look. I think you had a better look without the robe.
I didn't have a bra on. I didn't have a bra on and you could see certain things through my tank top.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, I have got to put something over so my painter, who is the sweetest angel painter that I've ever met, sees my ninnies.
Detailed boobies.
So anyway, so I go into the garage. I went, I'm so sorry. I'm trying on clothes for my Vegas trip. Let me show you the room I need painted. Bless this. So yes, it's almost done. Almost. It should be done hopefully soon. Then Daniel will put the floors down. I'm going to leave him to that and ignore him on that one because we will be fighting.
I'll be able to do the floors myself.
And then the decorating starts and I can't wait. If y'all haven't seen my dancing in my podcast studio until it's done videos, go check them out. I flossed this week and
Yeah,
I embarrassed
I saw that.
our children. Daisy cringed so hard.
That's one of the newfound pleasures of our life is embarrassing our children.
I love it.
Yeah. Update complete.
This week's episode, we're talking about the Natural Bridge Hotel. So this episode was recommended by our besties, Justin and Emily. They are the couple that went with us to Southern Grace Distilleries. They actually went here to the Natural Bridge Hotel.
Yeah. That was what, last year?
I don't know when it was actually.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Was it last year?
It was last fall, I believe.
But it was completely, they did not know anything about it. They went up there to go hiking and walk around and see the Natural Bridge because they are a blended family. So on the weekends, they don't have their kids. They usually go somewhere.
Yeah. And what's funny is when I was in the Army, because it's in Virginia, it's not that far from where I was. And so I've heard about Natural Bridge for a long time, but I've never been out there.
It's absolutely incredible. Give it a Goog because it is really cool.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I know that part of like Virginia, West Virginia is very pretty because I have been out to certain parts of it. But yeah, it's a gorgeous part of the Appalachian Mountains.
It's really cool. And what's really neat about it, it is, if you don't know what it is, I didn't know what it was until I started looking into it. The Natural Bridge is a geological formation that is in Rockbridge County, and it comprises of 215-foot high natural arch with a span of 90 feet. And it's situated within a gorge carved from the surrounding mountainous limestone terrain.
Yeah.
By Cedar Creek.
We know about limestone. It holds.
Exactly. This is why this is so important. The website that I got this information on said it's a stunning geologic formation tucked back in a Death Valley canyon.
Yeah, I've seen pictures, even pictures that people have taken that have been there, and it's gorgeous.
So before we get into the hotel, let me talk about the land. Because, sometimes the land is what's haunted, not...
And it's old land.
It's that old land.
Not really.
Don't even.
That's not true because
land is land. Land was made. They're not like making new land like they make new clothes. Like,
in Dubai, they are.
What?
Yeah, in Dubai, they've made islands.
Anyway.
It's true. Look it up.
The Natural Bridge was
That's
considered...
new land. This is old land.
Stop cutting me off. The Natural Bridge was considered to be sacred to Native Americans. According to the Native American legends, the Monacan Indians discovered the Natural Bridge while fleeing from the Algonquin tribes. They prayed for the Great Spirit to help them, and a bridge appeared. Women and children crossed the bridge to safety, followed by the men after they defeated the Algonquins.
Yes.
From what I read, it was hugely sacred to the Native American people. So the historical information that I found about the land itself was it was actually owned by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
He purchased 155 acres in 1774 from King George III for 20 shillings.
Yeah, he was a big landowner in Virginia.
I read in another website, because y'all know how I do this. I look at 6 websites and compile my episode. I'll get the information and kind of try to group the information where it needs to be in my writing. So I saw this in a different website from the historical one I read. It said that he had hopes of turning the area into a public park. I don't know how true that is.
That's cool.
He never saw it happen in his lifetime.
Almost like a...
He would invite people, and he used it as a resort and retreat for him and his friends.
Yeah, he was going to turn it into a natural park, like Yellowstone or...
I guess, yeah. But it didn't happen. It was always private ownership, while he was alive and after. For a very long time, because that was 1774. He referred to the Rock Bridge as the most sublime of nature's works. Jefferson built a 2-room log cabin nearby with one reserved for guests, and he used it as a retreat. Many famous guests came, including John Marshall, James Monroe, Henry Clay, Sam Houston, and Martin Van Buren.
Yeah.
In 1833, a new owner erected the forced inn to accommodate the increasing number of visitors. The bridge had considerable notoriety during the 19th century and was attracting a lot of people from all around the world. Herman Melville compared the size of the bridge to Moby Dick, because I guess Moby Dick was a giant white whale. William Cullen Bryant, another American literary figure, said that the Natural Bridge and Niagara Falls were 2 of the most remarkable features of North America. I agree with that. That's pretty cool. Those are, and the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, we need to go up to Natural Bridge.
I know. We will. We just haven't yet. Justin wants to get us back up there.
Yeah.
He wants to go back. He wants us to come, which we will. When have we had the time?
We have to make the time.
Like they make new land.
Yes.
During the 1880s, Natural Bridge was owned by it's Colonel. Look at it. Colonel. That's Colonel? Yes. There is not an R in that word. Are you sure that's colonel?
Yes, I was in the military. That's how you spell colonel.
That has not an R in sight. Colonel?
Just type in rank after major.
That is so stupid. That is so stupid. No wonder people think learning English is so damn hard.
Yeah, that's colonel.
That is so... There's not an R in that word. Oh, my God. Okay, so colonel, looks like colonel.
Let me just take a brief respite here. So, my wife, my beautiful wife,
Smart.
is incredibly smart. She is very good at grammar.
Very good.
Vocabulary,
Not so much.
short bus vocabulary is what we're talking about.
Damn. Daniel. You just put me on a short bus with my vocabulary. Pronunciations I'm not good at. Daisy has got that for me.
Vocabulary and pronunciation is, you're on the struggle bus at least.
I am.
So,
I know. And I'm old now. I don't care.
But if I write something, I have to get her to look at it to revise the grammar.
Yes, because I'm a grammar police.
Yes.
I had a costume for Halloween
So
one year.
together we can tackle the English language.
Daniel has an amazing vocabulary. Like, amazing. Sometimes I'm looking at him, I'm like, talk to me like I'm 5. So, Colonel, without the R, Henry Parsons. Anyway, gosh almighty, I got to start that over. I'm leaving parts of that in, but I'm starting that over.
So that's going to be a shirt.
Yeah.
Colonel
no R.
Yeah.
Colonel. I am very literal, okay?
America's sweetheart Colonel. And just spell it like the corn kernel.
So during the 1880s, Natural Bridge was owned by Colonel Henry Parsons. Parsons' first hotel was an expansion of a small roadhouse hotel that was owned by Captain Stevenson. See, Captain is spelled like it's supposed to be. In 1890, Parsons went to the present-day location of the historic hotel and built the first main hotel called the Appledore. In the early 1900s, the Appledore was expanded to accommodate more guests, and the name changed to the Natural Bridge Hotel. The Natural Bridge Hotel actually caught fire, like a major fire, in April 24th, 1963.
That's my sister's birthday.
Oh, it is. Not in 1963. 1963.
Oh, not 1863.
No, not 18.
Okay.
1963.
Yeah, that was a little before her time.
Yeah, so he built the Appledore in 1890, and then in early 1900s, it expanded and changed its name.
Okay.
In 1963, the fire broke out, and it is rumored to have started in the kitchen, but they do not know what caused it, still to this day.
Could have been fire on the dance floor.
Oh, God.
I'm sure the dance floor was at least semi-adjacent to the kitchen.
Probably close by. The ballroom is usually close by to the kitchen. Yeah. So our friends stayed there. And I want to just put this on here because I looked at so many websites and it all said the same thing, same information. There was a fire. Didn't say that people died in the fire.
Oh, that's an important fact.
It is a huge fact because that kind of changes the course of just a fire. Because when you read it, it's like, okay, like now I preface this, but I did not see the actual news article yet. But just reading the websites without the actual news article, it just sounds like there was a little fire that started in the kitchen.
Yeah, a little kitchen fire.
No, this shit burnt down to the ground to ashes. It burnt down. The main hotel burnt down and it killed a bunch of people that were in the hotel.
When you say a bunch,
I don't know.
You don't know the number.
No number.
They don't even mention them.
They don't even mention them. When Justin went and stayed and they checked in, they were joking how this place has got to be haunted. You know, they had no idea.
Yeah.
They hadn't planned on staying there. They just were driving by and they're like, that place looks cool. Let's go there. And they walk in and they were checking in and the clerk at the desk said, many people died in that fire. So when I read Justin's text, I was like, wait a second. So I went back and looked at all these websites. Not a one mentioned that people died. Then I found the actual news article from the News Gazette from 1963.
And that's what's strange. It's not.
They didn't say anybody died.
We're not talking about like 200-year-old history. We're talking about the
1963.
Yeah.
So I found the actual article. They have it scanned online for free
And
that you can look
microfilm?
at. Yes, it's so cool. Go check it out. I'm going to link it in the show notes. But no, they talk about that it damaged at least $1 million worth, and that's in 1963, of the hotel. That is a huge fire.
$1 million.
$1 million. Yeah, so you're talking about a huge ass fire that killed a ton of people, and in the paper, they're not mentioning one of those people. So it's like, what the hell?
Sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Maybe they wanted to redo it because that's exactly what happened.
Maybe they didn't want to pay the insurance claims on the dead people.
Maybe not. But in 1964, they rebuilt, and the new what's standing today opened its doors in 1965. So 2 years later.
They're like, let's build this thing back.
They sure did. I was stunned when he said that, and then I was like reading everything because I read his text, but I just kind of perused it really fast. And then I went back and read it after I started writing to try to put things where they needed to be. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, what? And then that made me go back to all the websites and look, and not one of those and not the paper mentioned a single soul passing in that fire.
You think you would bring that up?
That seems important.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to link the article. Go look at it. It's really cool. As far as the property, like the actual property, y'all, trying to do the timeline of when this started changing hands in the late 1900s. So we're talking about 1988. I needed a board with red string and pens. I was like, what? So the goal was the person that bought the property in 1988, he had no intention of maintaining it. He wanted to buy it in order to get it public. He wanted the state to take care of it.
Gotcha. He wanted to purchase it and then basically
have like the state park systems or whatever,
right.
whatever it's called, take over it, take care of it, and then be the ones like he owns it, but they take care of it, I guess. I looked at this timeline and I instantly lost interest. I'm not even gonna lie, because it was like, but then this, and then this, and then this, but then it went like, and I was like, wait, but pretty much.
There's a book in the Bible like that. It's just chapters and chapters of genealogy.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this is, like land genealogy. But so it
old
was
land genealogy.
It's old, y'all. The Natural Bridge was listed on the National Register of Historic Places as a National Historic Landmark in 1988. And in 2016, it became a public park. So there was a lot that happened between 1988 to 2016. I'm going to link that link too, because I'm telling you, I lost interest because it was so much like back and forth. But if you're interested in that, go check that out because it's history too.
It really sounds like there was a drive or something that they wanted to get it on the state or national registry so that it would be preserved, because maybe. Like my cousin, she got the Corps of Engineers. And
her land.
Some other people was able to finally, it took years, finally able to get it as a wildlife
preservation.
And so no development can ever be built on there.
She's so smart. That was brilliant. Okay, so we say all that to say that it is said that this hotel, the reason that we are here in this episode today, 41 minutes in...
You got some editing.
I got lots of editing to do. It is haunted. It is haunted. So here's the haunted history. It is believed that some of the paranormal activity may be linked to early inhabitants, including like Native Americans and just the people from the time Thomas Jefferson owned it into the time of the
modern
hotel.
Time.
Right. I couldn't find anything talking about the tragic deaths, but there's clearly been tragic deaths on the region over time. You know, you have a park with a huge bridge that is like hundreds of feet up. Of course people are going to fall.
Well, I mean,
it
was a Native American sacred site, so there were probably deaths surrounding.
And the Indians, the tribes were fighting. So, I mean, they're said that it's haunted because of what happened with the early inhabitants. But also, Justin had said that there was one man who fell to his death from the natural bridge, fell down, and that it is believed that the ghost of the man that fell off the bridge haunts that little area underneath the bridge now. You know, I didn't see anything online. I looked for specific list of deaths. Mm-hmm. And I found one obituary for one man who just died in Natural Bridge, Virginia. And he was just older, and he just lived in Natural Bridge.
They just hiding the deaths up there.
And usually it's like, if you Google, you can usually find death at park or nothing. I want to say before we go into this, I haven't been up there, so all of this is stuff that I've read. I haven't had any experiences up there.
We're going
to, but we just haven't yet.
We're going back to.
So one blog post that I've read was by a visitor who visited the hotel before the fire. She went in the early 1960s.
Okay.
So if the fire happened in 1963, she was there between
60 to 62.
60 to 62. Right. She states that when she visited, the hotel was haunted by 2 troubled spirits, one being Colonel Henry Parsons, who I mentioned earlier. He was one of the first owners after Thomas Jefferson. And then there was later, it is said, he is unnamed, an owner who is rumored to have killed his wife and children and then himself in the hotel. Oh. And then people have reported seeing the family members of the hotel roam the grounds. As far as that, I like facts, okay? I'm all about receipts and having proof.
Not just rumored.
I don't like rumors. I can't find anything, not a name, not a date, nothing. Nothing to back up or support that anybody ever killed anybody on that property.
What's interesting to me, just in listening to you talk about this, is there's a lot of what you would assume as crucial information that is
lacking,
omitted.
Yes, there's a lot of things missing. So I'm not saying it didn't happen, but usually,
almost purposefully
maybe
omitted.
But usually when something that dark and tragic happens, even if it's 30 to 100 years ago,
there's some kind of record.
Usually there's somebody that's done a report that has posted it online and that you can find to back something up.
Yeah.
But like here, I can't find anything. I can't find any information, even like a news article or a blog post saying I did research and found out this. It is on all these websites that this man killed his family and children, but nobody can back it up. So to me, that's just legend or lore.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And it said that they are seen on the property, but I can't find anything that says that actually happened. But then again, I didn't look all day or for weeks and weeks. I looked, but it was like nothing that I saw can confirm that or support it. It can't deny it, but it can't support it. So I don't know if that actually happened.
But people are seeing something.
They're seeing something for sure.
Are experiencing something of the like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw a story, one of the popular sightings. Now this is cool. This reminds me of the Pink Lady. One of the popular sightings is that of the Lady in Red.
Lady in Red
is dancing with me. Okay. She haunts the hotel. She is a mysterious apparition who wanders the hall at night, specifically at night. She is described as wearing an elegant red gown and seems to be very sad.
Oh,
I know. One site I saw said that she seems to be carrying a long lost sorrow. And so I did not read everything about the Lady in Red prior to typing this introduction of the Lady in Red. I typed the introduction and what I'm about to say and then finished my research on the Lady in Red.
Gotcha.
I started writing this and I said, I can only imagine her pain is the kind of sorrow caused by losing a love. Okay. I have zero information to support that. I didn't see anything about her losing a love.
Just the way it was described.
No, that's just the feeling that I got when thinking about her, that the reason she's so sad is because it is like she lost a love. Okay, so just saying that's the feeling that I had, and that's why I wrote that. It is just a thought that popped into my head, okay? I can almost see her in my mind's eye. It's like she's in my mind, and I have no idea. I've never seen a picture, have no clue what she looks like, but in my mind, her hair is like pulled up, and she's got this red gown, and it's long, but it's kind of off the shoulders, but it's modest at the top, but it's just like, I don't know. That's what I'm envisioning.
And I'm envisioning like fair skin, like dark hair.
The Lady in Red that has been spotted by guests and staff, she is usually by the grand staircases, and it could be along the upper or lower floors. Like it's usually at the staircase itself.
But different
always
levels.
At night.
But different levels of the staircase.
Encyclopediastrange.com describes her as very ethereal, which I love that word.
That's a very good word.
Sometimes appearing as solid and other times more misty. But she's drifting down the hallway. Some believe that she is the spirit of a woman who died at the hotel under tragic circumstances, while others speculate she could be connected to an earlier era, possibly a victim of an accident or heartache in the region. No one knows her true identity, but her presence has become one of the hotel's defining mysteries. The article continues to say one guest recounted walking in the middle of the night to see the Lady in Red standing at the foot of their bed. They described feeling a deep sense of sorrow in the room before the apparition slowly faded away. Staff members have also encountered her while cleaning empty rooms, only to look again and see that the hallway is deserted. Despite the initial fear that her appearance may invoke, those who have seen her often note that she seems more melancholy than threatening, as though she is forever searching for something lost.
That is sad.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like it seems to me she lost a love and she's looking.
Yeah, it seems tragic. Very tragic.
Other encounters within the hotel by staff and guests alike include some guests have seen a Native American man sitting in their room. So that goes back to Native American interactions on the property. Other guests have reported hearing children running and laughing in the hallways only to find no one there. Disembodied voices are heard, especially in older rooms of the hotel. Whispers are heard, and employees have reported hearing conversations taking place just out of earshot. And when they walk to see who's there, there's nobody there. So they're hearing like multiple people talk to each other. And sometimes they hear, like if they have the hotel closed for whatever reason, they'll hear these conversations going on when there's nobody there. They hear phantom footsteps, which echo down the corridors, and they have been described as very slow and deliberate. I don't know. I don't know if I like slow and deliberate footsteps.
No, it's like when somebody's walking like that, it's like they're coming for a reason, a purpose.
Yes, it's very ominous.
And usually not good intended.
My dad did that to us once. We left some doors unlocked. And when my sister and I were probably 10 and 13 years old, and they don't open the doors, don't open the doors. And we had the doors wide open and blaring music. And I mean, they pretty much had us convinced that we were going to get murdered if we left any door open. Oh, yeah. See where I get it from? And my dad gets home. He says he parks the car. He hears music blaring. So he walks around the back side of the house and he sees the door open. So he boom, 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 just step after step after step. And my sister was like, bye, bitch. I froze in fear because I'm like, oh God, we're dead. Dad was right. We're dead. And I froze in fear in the living room and I was in my sister's way. She two-hand pushed me out of the way and was halfway out the window when my dad reached the top of the stairs.
She gone.
She left me. She said she was going to come back for me. No, she wasn't. Yeah. She's saving herself. Sink or swim. So yeah, I don't like slow and deliberate footsteps. They also hear piano playing coming from the ballroom, and there's no piano in there. Or reports say the faint music seems to linger in the air, adding to the overall sense that time in the hotel sometimes stands still, as if it echoes of the past are playing out over and over again. That reminds me of the hotel in Blowing Rock.
I was just thinking that. Because when you first started talking about that, all I could think was about the Green Park Inn.
Yeah, because that's exactly how it feels. It feels like
the Green Park?
The Green Park, yeah. It seems like time just stopped there.
Yeah.
People also report cold spots and unexplainable drops in temperature.
That could be due to poorly designed ductwork.
Okay, well, I get that it could be. I'm just reporting on what people feel. And they said that it even happens during peak times of the summer. Some guests have reported that the cold spots are especially noticeable on the upper floors of the hotel. There seems to be a sensation of unease that comes with it, and they feel like they're being watched all of a sudden when that happens. In one particular unsettling account, a guest described feeling an icy breeze pass over them while they were sitting in the hotel's lounge, even though all the windows were closed and there was no logical explanation for the temperature change. Moments later, they saw a shadow move quickly across the room, but when they turned to look, there was no one there.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I don't think that's ductwork. And then one of the last is objects in the hotel move on their own. So like guests will have like silverware in one spot, and then they'll go and then they'll come back and the silverware is moved and rearranged. And then some guests have reported that they'll have something on their dresser or the nightstand, and when they come back, it's on the floor. This is on virginiahauntedhouses.com. I'm going to have this link. So here's some of the comments from people staying. This place haunted as fuck, but awesome place. We are currently at this hotel and I'm writing this, and it is my wife and our youngest son with me. I was in the shower and the curtain slowly opened and I heard a giggle, but it didn't sound like my wife, but definitely female. When I moved the curtain to see if it was my wife, she was not in there. So I yelled out to her and she didn't answer. Apparently, her and my son were down at the tavern getting a snack. Oh, God. I text her. That just gave me chills. I text her and asked her how long she had been down there, and she said she had walked out right after I went into the bathroom to shower, and it was before I turned on the water. So a ghost straight up opened my curtain as I was showering. This place is great.
Little peeping Jenny.
Little peeping red lady. Hi, what you doing? Okay, so this is from somebody else. It says the former owner did not kill his family. I have wrote a review before. I worked here and I've researched a ton of history on the property. The story of the former owner killing his wife and kids is just a rumor. Probably comes from the Shining plot, but the manager of many years did end up dead in 1976. Supposed to be a suicide, but it was suspicious. And yes, many others have died there over the years, confirmed from newspaper articles and death certificates.
Wow. That's cool. That's from somebody who actually worked there.
Yeah. Yeah. Old and creepy, this next one said. As soon as I got there, it looked old and off. That's me.
Kind of like the Crescent.
Kind of looks old and oh, I love that place. I want to go back. I want to go back for their paranormal event in February. I need to book that. Last time I looked, they hadn't posted anything though, but I'm going. Let's see. Me, my mom, and older brother stayed here. We stayed on the second floor. When we got in, my brother said he was thirsty, so my mom gave him cash to go get a drink from the vending machine. When he came back, he told us that it had burnt down in 1960. And so then we all went to bed. I could not sleep. I had the feeling something or someone was watching me, or just there. I went to the bathroom and Googled this place. Apparently, the former farmer went insane and killed his wife and kids. Excuse me? When I woke up, I had a killer headache. When we left, it was gone.
Pun intended.
Welp, I would stay again considering I love scary haunted stuff. Here's the next one. Beautiful hotel, quite unsettling. We stayed for a night. We checked in the evening to the room on the third floor and everything was well until my son and my husband called it a night. And I was the only one left awake. The hotel itself is absolutely beautiful, but the halls were definitely eerie. As I laid in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling of someone else in the room other than my family. Even after the door was locked and I even placed a towel under the door, I couldn't help but feel a feeling of danger. Needless to say, I didn't sleep well as I kept waking thinking it was morning, only to realize 20 minutes or an hour had only gone by throughout the night. I've had those nights. Yeah. That's how I felt in the Green Park. I'd wake up. I could not sleep well in the Green Park. I always felt like somebody was standing over me like, what are you doing here? Who are you? This next one says, not haunted. I'm disappointed. Just sounds common of an old hotel. There are old areas where the energy definitely feels different, but that's it. It's lore to scare people into thinking it's haunted. Definitely disappointed. Wah, wah. He gave it one pumpkin.
Boo.
Here's the next one. I worked here for 2 years, most of which was at night. It is definitely haunted and has an evil presence there. Whole property is cursed and there's been a lot of deaths over the years. Room 320. We stayed there recently for a fishing trip. The first night I couldn't sleep good. When I finally fell asleep, it felt like someone sat on the end of the bed and it woke me up. I had the creepiest feeling that I was being watched. The morning before we checked out, the vanity light flickered off and on several times until my buddy said, okay, we're leaving. And it stopped. This next one says, couldn't last 10 minutes.
Really?
1:30 a.m. checked in, expecting a good night's rest. Immediately when we arrived, I felt sick to my stomach. He only gave this one pumpkin, so he did not appreciate the feeling. I felt sick to my stomach, and so did my dad. We got to our room, and we felt an eerie feeling. I then found old rotten food in the small mini fridge under the cubbies. The bathroom door wouldn't close and the tap would not work. We even found an old key to the room as if someone was in there. We decided to not stay as if we did not feel comfortable to stay the night. As we were leaving, we got the fright of our life. The empty room next to us had a single blind folder upwards as if something or someone was looking at us from inside.
A single blind folded up.
That's not what it
I know, but that's what he's talking about.
I know, but it literally says a single blind folder upwards, up, then the word words, upwards, as if somebody was looking at them from inside. We proceeded to leave and felt like the next 30-minute road would not end. Red eyes and handprints. Me and my son stayed in 333. Ooh. We were sleeping and I woke up and saw red eyes looking at me from the window. I went back to sleep. Good Lord, I would not be able to go back to sleep.
I would.
Yeah, you would. You'd be like, eh. Well, then again, we heard scratching on the ceiling and both of us passed back out.
Yeah.
Trying to shake off the fear. In the morning, I looked at the window and there were, handprints on the outside of the window. I just got full body chills.
That's creepy. That is super creepy.
It was impossible to touch the window because there are no balconies on the third floor.
He's on the third floor.
Holy shit. That one's creepy. Could you imagine? Okay, so my wife and I just stayed here this past Monday night after dropping our daughter off at college earlier in the day. We stayed in room 315 after grabbing a bite to eat in Roanoke, Virginia.
Roanoke.
An hour or so earlier. Exhausted from the trip, we basically fell into bed when my wife fell fast asleep. For the next hour or so, as I unwound, I continued to hear something that sounded like metallic coming from the corner of the room. chalking it up to an antiquated AC system. I
told you it was the AC, that ductwork. I told you I was onto something.
I continued to check my email before going to sleep. 3 times I was awakened by the sound, and at the point even thought to myself, I wonder if it's a ghost, but passed it off to a silly thought and went back to sleep. I was awakened a 4th time by the bed pulsating. Once again, I chalked it up to a logical explanation. I had oysters for dinner, and I figured that was merely having heart palpitations.
Well, oysters are an aphrodisiac, and this sounds like a little kinkiness going in
Maybe
the room.
his hips were the one pulsating.
Oh, maybe a little handcuffs and some vibrating bed action.
When I went back to bed...
The honeymoon suite, 315.
When I went back to bed, thinking, if it's a ghost, he or she is probably friendly since the place has been here forever. It wasn't until I mentioned my experience to my wife when we returned to New Jersey that she looked it up and found this website. Overall, the note is gorgeous and filled with history and intrigue, an incredibly personable staff, and I would definitely stay there again.
That's cool. That's a good one.
All right, hold on, one more. These are good. I stayed there for 15 years ago in room 316 to 319. So they don't know what room they stayed in. They just knew it was between 316 and 319.
Gotcha.
I don't remember the exact number. Oh, there it is. Don't remember the exact number. Over a 2-day stay, there were quite a few times when I felt strongly that there was a man sitting in the chair in the corner watching the bed. I'm a skeptic by nature, but I couldn't shake the feeling of a presence. No sightings, no sounds, but I suddenly woke up in the middle of the night and was too scared to look around the room because I didn't want to see. Haunted hotel for sure. It was a scary and chilling, but anyway, I had to stay there for 3 days. For the first day, we unpacked and went up to the room, and me and my friend went to her room on the outside of the hotel, and the TV was off. Then it just suddenly turned on and started flashing. We turned it off and then ran outside. We went back. It did it again. The food. This is a review of the hotel. The food took over an hour, and the bed smelled weird, and they were hard. But they heard footsteps. So I'm going to leave it at that. Like, there's a ton of these. It's very cool. Hold on. Here's another one. One more. Night shift. I worked nights for 1.5 years. It's definitely haunted. Ask about Mr. Hunter. Most staff should know about him, but are probably encouraged not to say much. So yeah, again, I'll have that link so you can go read them.
I have to run into somebody and say, can you tell me about Mr. Hunter?
So like one commenter said that, they think the lore of the man killing his wife and kids came from like the Shining plot, and that they're just kind of like mixing it together. Yeah. There are some history tours. There are some haunted history tours up there. So if you want to go stay, they have the haunted history lantern tour. If for visitors that want to explore the area with a lantern, they walk you down Cedar Creek Trail with a park ranger.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a guided lantern tour.
That would be cool.
They also have a tour called Encountering Spirits. During this tour, visitors may encounter ghosts and spirits associated with the area's history and the legend of Natural Bridge. And then they have a tour that's focused on history, and it aims for a blend of historical information with the spooky atmosphere, offering a unique experience. So
those are cool.
Check out their website for dates and times. But yeah, that's the Natural Bridge Hotel.
I can't wait to go.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited about going up there.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll take all of our stuff. I have all this, basic ghost hunting stuff, but it works. I mean, we did that last week and my stuff was going nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, some dowsing rods up in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not too bad for research No,
that was good. That was that's a lot of information.
Mm-hmm. It was good. I mean, they had brought it up a few times that because when they found out that I had this podcast, they brought it up. Yeah. So it was a while ago that they went. I didn't really I've heard about it and I've looked it up, but I haven't read into it. And it was just a lot of cool information. And I love that one website that with all the commenters with their personal stories. That to me is really cool. Well, a lot of them are poorly written.
It really does remind me of just the history and the happenings of the Crescent and the Green Park.
Those hotels that are that old, they always are just saturated.
Well, the limestone too, the whole area, the grounds. I mean, it goes back to...
Oh, I left a part off.
What?
There's also, it's called a lost river, that it runs kind of underneath the ground there. And there's a waterfall, but you have to go through these trees to get to the lost river. And they have tried to find the source of this river, and they cannot find the source of this water.
Yeah, it's like the water coming at Ruby Falls.
Yeah, so you have the limestone, you have running water, you have Native American history, you have a lot of saturated, with Thomas Jefferson and then some others. And then you have tragic events like the fire. I mean, you have just a slew of information or events and happenings that can create like a perfect storm of paranormal activity.
Well, there's places on Earth that I think naturally have a certain energy. I mean, there's places where, native tribes, even people today, they're sacred. People aren't allowed there because there's always been an energy there. And this could be, it sounds like this is one of those places.
Yes, but people are allowed there. Come on in.
But people are allowed there, right? And a lot of times when things are built on sacred sites or places like that, things happen like this. And so it just makes me think like this area is I guess for the lack of a better term, a geological vortex. I don't know.
Vortex. I love that.
I don't know how you would say it, but just an area that is primed.
Primed and ready to go.
Yep.
It seems like it. And there's probably more deaths with the park area itself, just because people fall.
Yeah, I bet there's some like cool hiking trails and stuff that
As I'm talking about people falling to their deaths, I bet there's some cool hiking trails.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hopefully better roped off now. But you got to think, people are still stupid. Like you see these influencers and these TikTokers that are dying.
Just falling off mountains.
They're trying to get a picture or a video and they're falling because they are ignoring the safety precautions for a video. The video's not worth your life, bro.
Yeah. There's a picture of Tom. I just saw this the other day.
What?
There's a picture of Tom Cruise sitting on the Burj Khalifa, which is the world's tallest building. And I think it's in Mumbai. Yeah, he's just sitting up there like this. No safety gear, just hanging out, chilling.
See, you would do some dumb shit like that.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not. Heights. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of heights. I'm very respectful of heights.
I'm respectful, but I'm also scared of them. As I've gotten older, I've gotten claustrophobic and I've become what?
The zipline tower.
That was moving.
It was.
The zipline tower was moving and I was short and they're like, oh, just hook. I'm like, what? Oh, never again. Anybody like, oh, you want to go ziplining? No.
Yes.
No.
I want to go skydiving again.
No, I'm not doing that either. I'm not jumping out of a perfectly decent plane just for my pleasure. That's no pleasure. That's anxiety.
It is pleasure.
Good for you. I'm not trying to yuck your yum.
Yuck my yum.
Yes. I hear people say it and I just always wanted to use it and there it was. I don't want to yuck your yum. You go and you jump out of that plane. Just make sure your life insurance is up to date and that you have all of your power of attorneys in line before you jump out of that plane. So if your chute doesn't open, I can take care of what I need to take care of. That's where I am at with Daniel. If he wants to do something crazy.
All I'm thinking about is yumming your yum.
Yumming your yum. Anyway, that is our episode. We got a little off track, but that is the great part about this is my episode. I do what I want.
I hope you enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this episode.
I do too. I enjoyed last week's too.
Yeah.
I enjoy all of them. I have some really cool episodes coming up. I have Jeremy Jolly from SoCo Paranormal coming up. I also have a man his name's John. Lots of Johns lately.
Not the prostitute kind of Johns.
No.
I just wanted to clarify. I got a lot of Johns coming by. Like, Jesus, baby.
New side gig. Like and subscribe.
That's a hard no. I will put my foot down.
His name is John Kosick. He works with the Ouija Board Museum. So Anthony.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Anthony Ghost Guy is coming back on. And he and I are going to talk to John because Anthony loves Ouija boards. I am scared of Ouija boards, but you know me, I am a perma student. I love to learn and I am open-minded. So teach me something I don't know about Ouija boards. There's a lot that I don't know. I'm ignorant to them, but they do scare me. I had a bad experience. I won't touch one now, but let me learn about them. And he is up in Salem, Massachusetts, I believe. He works a museum up there. So he's going to be on, and then Jeremy, and then hopefully I can get some others lined up and we can all learn together.
Yeah.
Follow me on TikTok. It's Ghost Gossip Pod. Follow me on Instagram, Ghost Gossip Podcast. Email me your ghost gossip or story suggestions at ghostgossip247@gmail.com. And follow me on YouTube, Ghost Gossip 24/7. Oh my gosh. Remember when it was just Instagram?
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, but here I am.
So am I.
Oh, Jesus, Daniel. God almighty. There's people that laugh. They text me, they email me, and they're like, Daniel's innuendos are so funny.
You're like, I'm so tired of them.
I'm so annoyed.
Because you hear them all the time.
All the time.
At least a couple a day, probably.
I'm so annoyed.
Would you say my average is like 3 a day, or are we talking like...
Sexual, like towards me?
Yeah.
Yesterday, you wouldn't shut up. I wanted to like push him out of the car.
You were looking good yesterday.
I literally look like a troll bridge yesterday.
No.
I did. My hair was a mess. I was in... okay. Anyway, thank you for listening. And as always, we love you. We appreciate you. And if you're going to leave me a review, please leave me a 5-star review on Spotify or Amazon. And if you have anything other than 5, email me and tell me what I could do better. I am very open to
suggestions,
constructive criticism and suggestions. Absolutely. Please don't give me a bad review. Don't do that. That takes too much energy. Takes better. It's good juju to give me 5.
That's right.
You'll be rewarded in your karma. Anyway, we love you. Thank you for listening. As always, until next time, they'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Coffee burp. Or somebody carrying a big heart egg. No one knows right.
Heart egg?
Ache. Heart ache.
Oh, heart ache. I thought
heart egg? Let's start that part over.